Hey guys, so I am back today. We are going to be doing something different today on my channel. I know usually I do like revamps, but today I'm going to be showing how I customize and fully style units for my company. This is a unit that was purchased by a customer from B.Luxe Beauty Bar. I will insert the link below. And this is our Aubrey unit, which is a unit with highlights. And so I'm just going to be showing you guys exactly how I fully styled the unit and how to fully customize it. So that includes like plucking baby hairs, styling it, getting rid of the flyaways, all the good stuff. So usually I start out after I wash the hair. I usually put it under my dryer, and right after that I blow it out, obviously, because I don't leave it in for the full time. Don't ask me why, that's just what I do. And afterwards, as you can see right now, I have already begun flat ironing the unit. This is like halfway through of flat ironing. So I always do row by row because that's when you're going to get the best results. Try to do at least 1 to 2 rows. Like, don't do any more than that because you want the hair to be sleek when you're finished. And I use the Baby Bliss Pro for this one. I'm going to also include that link below. But yeah, so as you guys can see, I'm just combing through the hair. I took out 1 row of hair. I think this was 1 or 2 rows, and I'm just going to start straightening right through it. Alright, so here you can see the straightener that I'm using. I have 2 different Baby Bliss flat irons. One I only use usually like on my natural hair, and one I use for bundles or wigs. That just makes it easier for me because I feel like honestly one is better for my natural hair, so that's why I usually differentiate between the two. But yes, I'm just going through each row. At this point in the wig, I usually don't have to use the hot comb at the roots. Sometimes I do, but that's usually only where the closure is. So over here, I'm just going through each row, and you remember to take your time. This video is sped up, so please keep that in mind. I'm not going through that fast. I'm actually going very slow because if you go through fast, you're not, honestly, it's not going to have the same effect. And it's either you go through slow one time, or you're going to have to keep going through a bunch of passes with the flat iron. Even if it's a really great flat iron, if you're not taking your time, I feel like you get the best results when you take your time. Over here, I am doing more than 2 rows because that was like the second time I was going through that section. Okay, so here I am pretty much at the top where the closure is about to begin. So obviously the closure is not made with tracks. It is hair that is put in through ventilating. So the hair put in like 1 piece of hair at a time. So I'm just basically creating my own row so that I can start to hot comb the roots and then flat iron right after. Alright, so right now I just sprayed some spritz. I'm showing you guys because that is what works for me at the moment. I feel like I'm always trying different things to see what works and what doesn't work. Usually I honestly would use like my holding spray, which is from Sebastian, I think. Today I'm trying out spritz because I realized lately, like, sometimes using the old goodies is what works. Like, I know a lot of people used to use spritz back in the days, but that thing still works. So if it works for you, like, just use it, okay? Okay, so now we are finally at the top of our unit. Don't mind me with my crazy hair. Please do not come for me. My hair needs to be done. Anyways, I'm taking this unit off of this dome head and I'm going to put it on my other one, because this one is the one I used to dye hair and this one is the one that I actually can customize units on. So I'm going to be trying out Arrogant Tae's method today. I didn't have a white towel, but I do have a white paper towel, okay? So I'm just cutting that in like half right now, and I'm going to pin that down, and then I'm going to put the unit right on top. So I saw like in his video, it makes it a lot easier to pluck and like actually make your part when you have something completely white underneath. It honestly does help. If I could get a dome head that was like completely white, that would be perfect. But all they come in is light beige, so we're gonna have to work with what we have. So right now, I'm just pinning down the unit, and then I'm basically pinning down around. And now I'm just combing. I'm gonna comb out the baby hairs in the front. And I think I noticed that the white paper wasn't like far enough behind, so I'm just adjusting it. Alright, and now I'm just going to take my hot comb. My hot comb is from Tae'S, and I'm going to be hot combing the closure back. I'm just fixing the angle for you guys so you guys can see. So I'm going in with my hot comb, and as you can see, I'm just combing backwards. And so of course with this, you want to also take your time. This part of the closure I did not straighten yet. That's what I'm going to do right now. And so basically for the closure, it goes hot comb, straighten, obviously you're combing in between. I use the chase method when I'm hot combing and straightening. No, I'm lying. I use the chase method when I'm straightening, not hot comb. Obviously, you don't need to do that because it's a hot comb. But yeah, so I'm just going to continue doing that until I get the entire closure part. Okay, so right now I'm hot combing the baby hairs forward, what I want the baby hairs to be, because what you don't want to do is pluck and customize your unit and then try to pull the baby hairs forward. You know why? Because first of all, it's going to look crazy and you're not going to have as much baby hairs as you desire, mainly because you pretty much just pluck them all away. So I got my tweezers now. These are my favorite tweezers. I'm actually starting in the front. I usually don't start in the front. I usually take a few rows and comb them in front, and then I start in like the middle. But right now I'm starting in the front. Like I said, trying something new, trying something different, and let's just see if it works. Obviously it was not working, so that's why, as you can see, I just took some hair out and now I'm going towards the middle. And so literally just keep plucking. Do not pluck in the same area. That's like one of the most important things. If you stay in the same area, you are going to cause a bald spot. I remember when I first started customizing units, I caused so many bald spots. Now if I could go back, those poor wigs, like, it was crazy. But yeah, do not pluck in the same place. I eye it and I look at it as 3 different sections, A, B, and C. You want to keep going back from A, B, and C, back and forth, from A, B, C, then C, B, A, back and forth, never stay in the same area. And so I'm basically just doing that in a rapid motion. The more comfortable you get with plucking, the faster you are able to do it. So now I'm just taking the other side and I'm doing the same exact thing. I took some hair out and I'm going to pluck, going back and forth, never staying in the same spot. I am using my root touch up from my company, B.Luxe Beauty Bar, and I do this especially on these units because when I am dyeing and adding my highlights, I bring this unit up to a 2. And so right now I'm just making the roots a tad bit darker so that there's some type of dimension. Remember, you want this to look as real as Scout, like it's coming out of your hair, like it's your hair that you were born with. And guess what? Most people, they got some roots, okay? So that's exactly what I'm doing here. I'm just touching up the roots. And again, this is not something you want to be heavy-handed with. You want to go in very lightly and combing through as I do it to make sure that there's a gradual difference. Alright, now here is the fun part. Right now, well, this is not really the fun part. I'm just cutting off the closure, the extra lace is what my client requested. So I start off with scissors, and then I'm going to go in a jagged motion, and somewhere along the way, if I feel like I need to use a razor, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So that's what you guys see me doing here. Just do not cut in a straight line. If you're not able to do that with the scissors, just get you the razor, the little eyebrow razor. That's what I have in my hand, and go right across. You can never fail with a razor. Oh, there's Latte in the background, my little. Alright, and I'm just using the scissors for the little tabs on the side. And now I have cut the entire thing off, so I'm just unpinning it. Okay, so right here, I'm going to start. This is the fun part. This is the actual fun part. I am using my razor to cut my baby hairs. Honestly, if this is a unit for a client and I'm shipping it out, I usually cut it longer than normal, because if they get it and they want it to be shorter, then you can play around with that. Baby hairs that are already too short, you can't add hair to it. So cut longer than you need to. And I got my little baby flat iron, and I'm curling away from the face. So I'm doing the same thing on the other side right now. Got my razor. I'm going to razor through. First, I'm hot combing it, of course, because you want it to be laid. And then I'm going to get my razor, cut it down, and then I get my baby flat iron, and I'm curling away from the face. Literally, it just takes one pass with the baby flat iron and you're good. Alright, so now I just took some Nairobi mousse and I put that at the top of the hair, and then I'm going in on the baby hairs, okay? What you want to do, you want to do light, swift motions. Like literally, you want to create uppercase C's with your baby hairs. And so with that being said, like I use the comb part and the brush part of my edge brush, and just literally creating uppercase C's. Like, just imagine an uppercase C in your head, and that's how you're going to make your baby hair. Obviously, the C is going to be backwards. And so I'm just showing you guys, this is just a draft of how it would look. And now I'm just recording on my phone for some content for TikTok. But yes, back to it. Uppercase C's. Alright, and over here I'm doing the same thing, creating uppercase C's again. I took some mousse. I'm lightly going in. I'm not being heavy because remember, the hair was flat iron and it was curled away from the face. You don't want to lose that shape even though it was curled tightly. You want to try to keep that shape as much as you can because it helps you to create how you want your baby hairs to look. So I'm going in with the brush and I'm holding it down with my finger. I'm pressing lightly. I am not pushing down my finger. Like, no, you don't want to do that because you're going to lose the formation that you're looking for. So I keep doing that until I get my desired shape. And you honestly just keep playing with it until you're happy. If it dries out, just add more mousse. And then I'm using the other side of the the baby hair brush just to, I'm getting rid of some hairs, and I'm using the comb just to get everything in place and make it look exactly how I want it to look. And now it's time for the finishing touches. I'm just going in with the hot comb and the flat iron just to get the finishing touches so it can look very, very pretty. Okay, and here is our finished look. The unit is completely plucked, and baby hairs are done. I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for joining. Bye.